Hey everybody, it's B from Kongs R Us with some special guests, Mike and Justin. What's up?
What's up?
Welcome to the next level,
So-
Mike. You finally made it onto the show.
Yeah,
I'm
my
so
my New Year's resolution was to watch more B Kong, and this is the next level of that. I'm actually on your show.
You're just on it. I'm so sad today because right before the show started,
Mhm.
Mike said something I couldn't believe what he said. It shocked me. We'll get to that in a little bit.
To your core?
To my core, it shocked me.
It's shocking. Well, thank you all for being here. Today's topics, if you saw in the chat, this is normally my weekly podcast show where I bring you next level things, guests, community members, and what better way to talk about some next level stuff than the next cornerstone from Stern Pinball. So just a disclaimer out there, I've been putting it in my videos that I formally got reached out to by the Stern marketing team. So yes, Biggie D says, I'm a Stern insider now. Well, we're all insiders if you have the insider connected. They
We're
actually
insider
check
connected.
everything
Everyone
that
should
you
be
do.
insider
They
connected.
literally Big Brother. They're tracking every stat that you play because it's
Get the
information.
terminology right, man. He's a Stern influencer.
Influencer, not even. But they did send me a Stern Pinball loaner. Okay. And so hopefully I'll be able to get some more content on that soon. I've been playing, I wanted to like master it first, but I'll be making more content on it soon. But they also sent over some assets and some of the images for Stern Jaws Pinball that got released today in terms of the gameplay video footage. I really like what they did with not only the story and the gameplay footage, but they actually started talking about it and getting George Gomez and Keith Elwin to talk about the table. What did you guys think about the videos that Stern released today?
I keep on wondering if, the leak that got out yesterday, kind of the day before, if that was part of the marketing or not. If we ignore that just for a second, everything that Stern officially released with their timeline was really cool. It was like, here's a little dose, get excited. And then today they unveiled, I think they have a few more things to unveil throughout the week, but the core of everything was revealed. And then next week we'll be at CS. That's when we'll probably start seeing real gameplay. Probably around that time, pros will ship, and maybe Joel from Flippin' Out Pinball will start streaming. Hopefully, Zach will give him a machine, and we can start seeing how some pretty good pro players can play. But overall, it's been exciting to follow it. And I will say, Pinside has been blowing up like crazy. Been following the hype thread for that, and it was at a slow pace. And then this week, I can't keep up. I look at I don't know if you guys do this, but you can set notification on the pin side. And it says, hell, you can use Telegraph. And I've never used Telegraph, but it's a notification message.
Oh, I hate
And
Telegraph.
today it's just hundreds of posts. The last couple days, I had to just do a read all because I think it hit like 600 or something. And
is almost as hype as when Arcade 1UP or any of the other home arcades launch a product? Do you see this much hype for stuff that we would normally cover, or is it different because it's
a
forums?
completely different audience base? I mean, pinball enthusiasts are much different than home arcade enthusiasts. I mean, these are people with a lot invested. It's a way of life. Most people who have home arcades are not that invested like the pinball community is.
Paul's true that this was like the worst kept secret ever for a release, right?
Literally the first line of my video yesterday.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that's yeah, and I don't want your content either. So actually, I'm just kidding.
Well, B, you can go to hell. It's just not going well.
Well, no, I was saying that as if I'm making content on something, sometimes I don't want to watch other people's content on it, right? So that's like the whole point of it. So you get it, right? But anyways, now that I've made my video, I'll go back and check it out and see what everybody else and Justin, you made a reaction video earlier today too, talking about this. Did you have a good stream talking about this earlier today?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Since then, I talked to my wife and I asked her. So I showed her the artwork of the Pro and the Premium. Now I did this for James Bond. It was kind of like I don't want to bring anything into the house that my wife will think is super ugly. I made that mistake already with At Games products, and I'm not going to make that mistake again.
You son of a bitch.
I showed her the Pro and the Premium for James Bond pictures. Which one do you like better? And she was like, the Pro, the yellow one. She's like, that one looks really good. The Premium, not so much. And my daughter, independent, no influence. I'm going to show you two pictures. Which one do you like more? And I didn't tell them this one's the Pro, this one's the Premium, or anything like that. It was all about the look of it. So I showed them Jaws, and I quote, this is what my wife said. Okay, listen very carefully. This is really important. I said, which one do you like? Do you like picture number 1 or picture number 2? And my wife said, I don't care. Okay. So that's
That's
officially
what
quoting
normal
my wife.
people would say.
Yeah, Justin, I don't know why you're so concerned. Like, this is going in your basement, which, as I can see behind me, the lights are never on in. So why are you worried about the artwork?
That's right.
I don't want to bring something ugly into my house in my
So
pitch
dark.
black room that nobody can
It's
see.
actually super bright in here. It's just the lens that makes it look dark.
Oh,
I can see everything in here.
Mhm.
So I asked my daughter, and she took it a little bit more seriously, and she leaned towards the premium, and she gave all this description why. She said, the premium is more dynamic. It's exciting. It'll tell you, like, look, we're about to play this really fun game.
Mhm.
And without giving her any details, which I've talked to Jaws in the car with her a little bit here and there, so maybe she goes, whereas the second one, which I actually showed her the pro one as the second one, she goes, that one looks more like the movie poster. I was like, okay, all right, 15 years old. I don't think we ever really watched that movie together. Maybe she saw it on TV on her own or something like that. But she says she's seen Jaws, and she recognized that the pro looks like the movie poster. And she goes, so
Mhm.
that one is for someone who loves the movie, loves the iconic poster, so must have the one that is about the movie. But I would want to get that other one with the dynamic artwork that's in action. The Jaws is jumping out of the screen. That's the good one. And I said, well, that's the premium. And she goes, that makes sense. So,
yeah.
Interesting. Do you have a preference on the artwork? I mean, we're going to talk about pro versus premium, like playfield stuff, but like, what do you think about artwork stuff?
Are you asking me or Justin
I'm asking
or
you, Mike.
Justin's daughter?
Well, because Justin already talked about it. So, Mike, what do you think about the artwork in terms of cabinet preference?
Well, I mean, I saw the LE yesterday, and I was like, it's very subtle. The art on the LE, of course, they've got that reflective surface, which
Mhm.
is very cool. But it's kind of the same art for the Pro. It's just you don't have the reflective surface. So I think the Pro is movie accurate, but it is a little plain. I think the Premium is more in line with what I expect from a Keith Elwin pinball machine. I kept saying I think Zombie Yeti did the art, but I don't know if
Michael
that's true.
Bernard.
It's Michael Bernard did the art. Okay.
Mhm. Yes. Yeah, and so in this gameplay trailer video right now, and this is Keith Elwin talking about the features between the LE Premium and then the Pro model. And I really liked hearing his like talk about, hey, here's the things that you can do. Here's the little wave ramp. And I was getting excited for the LE and the Premium. And then he's like, let's talk about the Pro version of it. And look how short the Pro version of the features portion of it.
Is it the last minute?
It's like 30
On
seconds
the
when he's
Pro
talking
Edition,
about the
gamers
Pro
will still
version
have
of
the
it. It has
experience of adding chum in the water
it's
to lure
it
that
was
shark in.
really sad. This is the first big difference right here, is that they're kind of trying to hype up the
Like
Premium
the
and
shark in
LE,
Ghana,
and the last thing they
dash
talk about is the
captive ball
Pro
under the fierce
shark
great white
cage
shark
with
that's breaking through the shark cage.
it's breaking through a shark cage, which I guess happens somewhat in the movie.
Right.
But there's no upper
Exists the
play field.
experience
It
of
kind of
sharks
loops
like
around,
never
and then
before,
like
and it's
he
kinetically
doesn't mention
satisfying,
anything else, and
fast-paced,
that's it.
thrilling
That's the
pinball
Pro
adventure
features. So
of
I
Stern
guess
Pinball.
No.
it's just hard to hype the
Either
Pro
game.
after you go.
I'm gonna get
from
you
the other-
excited about it.
All right, get me excited about the Pro.
The Pro, so for me, I have to get excited about it because all we ever get in the local arcades is a Pro. There's 2 arcades in Des Moines that are ran by a Stern distributor. Every single Stern that is released, he puts in his arcade, and then he takes the oldest ones out and resells them or something.
Mhm.
We're gonna get the Stern Pro locally.
And that's why you want it.
So
'Cause
that's
you
my
get to play it.
my bias. But if you look at the machine, think of the difference between Foo Fighters, the Pro, and the Premium.
Mhm.
It's not quite the same. Yes, the upper playfield, the deck above is missing, but this one looks really cool. Like the Pro version, what else is it lacking? I think there was
Mhm.
like the pop bumper doesn't have the ornament above it, doesn't have the
Mhm.
barrel. But it's still there, and you can still catch the ball on that right flipper on the Pro.
Mhm.
Like, I think it's very minimal when it comes to gameplay. It's like a lot of people have said, the Pros typically run faster. This
Mhm.
one's gonna be a faster game on the Pro because if you do make that shot that would normally go up to the upper playfield, the ball is always gonna return to you very
Mhm.
quickly. Whereas even on Foo Fighters, there's kind of like this mini game that you're trying to do where you're up on the playfield and you're like, okay, let me try to get that circle. Let me okay, can I get a jackpot up here? Whereas the pro is just like, no, that's a simple shot that just comes back down. Like they're obviously different, but I don't think it's horrible. Like I don't think the pro is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, anytime these come out, people have different opinions. A lot of home owners that buy these, they like getting the pros because there's less toys, less things break, less maintenance. People have opinions on what shoots better. To me, I think this looks a lot like Godzilla. I think there's a lot of benefit in going with the premium over the pro. I mean, the extra stuff in there, I think there's a lot of things you're probably going to miss. But at the same time, I don't think you could go wrong either way. I think it's a Keith Elwin game. It's going to shoot great either way, but man, it really looks like you're missing a lot of shit when you take out that orca up there.
I mean, I if you saw my thumbnail, I actually did circle the differences between the pro and the premium, what I could obviously see. And so this is all three play fields just put side by side. So the left one is the pro, the middle one is the premium, the right one is the limited edition. The premium and LE are exactly
essentially
the same,
yeah.
Except for the trim and then there's the art blade, so you can see that. Yeah. But I mean, immediately, right? If you just look at the upper playfield section, you're right? There are some stark differences, and it's just like Foo Fighters. The upper playfield probably doesn't make some gaming differences like Foo. I didn't realize that even the 3D building is different on there, just like the little accent for the building that pops out. Like even Godzilla Pro had the building still popping out of there. So I thought that was a little sad to see.
You don't get the boat, you just get the shark cage, so we don't get the boat mechanism. I mean, there's a lot taken away from this table when you jump up for $2,000. It's not like it's just one or two toys.
Does this shark move at all? Does this do anything?
No.
I don't think so.
No, right? It's very similar to Stranger Things, where you have a static Demigorgon compared to the moving one in the premium.
Yeah. I almost feel like with the shark being exposed here, it would have been nice if you could actually bash the shark instead of hitting the ball to bash the shark too, Like at least you would get some satisfaction of hitting it, because when it pops out from here, you can eventually hit the shark too. So that might have been a feature that would have been cool to like have the shark there, entirely. There are some, like, I do like that little wave ramp there, the 180 ramp. That's kind of cool shot. That's very similar to like Deadpool, where it kind of like loops around and then flips up somewhere. So that's pretty cool shot. But this upper left area also looks a little bit plain. Those are the big differences. There's also some like 3D pop bumper figure thingies, right?
Yeah.
This barrel is different. And then I didn't realize this. I made this mistake on my video that these are drop targets on the premium and LE, and they're not on this one. Like, what was up with that? Did you guys see that?
Say that again?
So these little targets right here on the pro are bumpers. They're not drop targets.
Oh, that's wild.
Right?
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm positive. Look, so
they don't drop?
These do not drop. This is a bumper that you hit. And if you go all the way to the premium, these are actual drop targets.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's it. Screw it.
Get premium.
Don't buy the pro. That's it.
The drop targets, right?
The drop targets. Screw that. I'm kind of upset. Like, have they ever done that? Where they actually, most of, like, if there's a drop target and it's a main piece of the game, I'm assuming that you have to get through the 3 drop targets to be able to unlock a ball lock, or being able to ball light or something like that, have it lit. And then they're not putting that on the pro. They always put the drop targets on the pro.
Yeah, that one's a little bit weird. And somebody pointed out to me in my comments, and I looked closer and I was like, I think he's right. So I don't know. We'll have to see it when we play it at CES. By the way, we are going to be at CES next week, so we will get to finally test this out.
Some of you will be.
Some of us will be. I mean, you'll be there in spirit, right? That's a big change there. I still think the layout looks fun to play, right? You said L1 table. I for me, like it almost finally looks a little bit cleaner from the last couple of things that we've seen. Foo and Venom, I mentioned this in my video, we're just super busy. This is coming back to a more classic look in terms of a pinball table. Lots of stuff happening. But
Josh is saying that Deadpool Pro is missing 8 drops. I didn't catch that.
Oh, okay. So more people that know more about this. Okay. The model and the shark looks nothing like sharks in the film, nor does it look like the sharks in the Flipper's complete madness. I don't know. I watched Jaws for the first time this past couple of days. Because oh, that's funny because you've been telling me how much the video and the movie holds up today. I would say it was good for what it was. Like, is
Oh
it
my
is it
God,
the
B.
best
Just
movie I've ever seen?
shut down your channel. Never ever talk about movies again.
It's supposed to be like literally the greatest movie of all time. Like, where does it rank?
No,
Is
I
it
don't think
just
anyone
like,
said it's the greatest movie of all time.
but a good movie?
It's a
It's up
cinematic masterpiece.
Cinematic masterpiece.
You know, it's funny. I know it's a slight change of topic, but just before I came in, my wife was watching Forrest Gump, which also has like a fishing boat in it, so it's kind of somewhat related to Jaws. That is a good movie. Come on, I'm just sitting there for like 5 minutes, going like, "Oh my God, Forrest Gump is so good."
Forrest Gump is very good. It's one of those ones that if you turn it on,
that's
you
a
never.
cinematic masterpiece for sure.
Yeah,
I think
technically Forrest Gump is better than Jaws. You can quote me on that.
So I think a lot of us miss out on the fact that everything is iconic when it's in our life cycle. So the fact that we all grew up with Forrest Gump at an impressionable age, like it created an impression. Jaws was really before all of our times. Well, maybe except for Robert Foxworth, who was born in 1941. But we missed it. So we went back and watched it, right?
Greatest monster film of all time. That makes sense.
I would say it's even better than that. Like, I mean, some of the dialogue, and this is what people miss out on. They talk about like what happens, but it's the dialogue that really makes that movie so special. Like, you go back to the boat scene with Quint when he's there with Richard Dreyfuss, and
when he's talking about his scene, about his story with the sharks. That was
like when he was in the SS, what was
it?
SS Missouri, I think it was, or something like that. And he talked about how
one of those,
SS Indianapolis, and then the whole thing sank, and they had to wait in the water with all the sharks coming around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And some of the dialogue back and forth between the citizens, like I always say this line. He walks by this guy he knows, and he looks at him and he says, "That's some bad hat Harry." I mean, for God's sakes, a production company is named Bad Hat Harry Productions based on their love of Jaws. So come on. Jaws is a great movie.
I will say, Zohar's in the chat saying that you'll never be happy unless you get the LE. That's great. I'm pretty sure the LEs have already sold out. Where can tell in the chat, find one retailer that currently has an LE listed on their website.
You just have to know a distributor, right, to be able to get on the list.
I actually made a message in a Facebook group, the Jaws Facebook group. I was like, "Is there any dealers that have an LE available?" Asking for a friend. I'm waiting for a response.
I think they knew what the LE response was going to be. I mean, you guys all got your inside information, but like it was up there. Like they were actually doing a pinside. So for Stern insiders, not Stern influencers, but Stern insiders. So if you're part of Insider Connected, they had a limited window where you could actually buy your LEs directly from Stern.
Directly from them.
I think they knew this was going to happen. Yeah.
I mean, to get them, if you're really into pinball, you have to know people that knows people to really be on the list, to be able to get, like, distributors will go down their regular list. And some people that I know that I've met will buy LEs just to stay on the list, but then they'll sell it if they don't want that title, just to stay on the list. Like, so that's kind of how people will, it's a crazy hobby. It's getting crazy. I know Chris really was like earlier saying, people can't afford this. Some people can. And some people, who was it that was here earlier in the chat that I wanted to address? He was like, home arcades aren't pinball related. Nobody can afford this, Peter Griffin.
Are you a home arcade channel? Have you put yourself in that box that you only do home arcade?
But if pinballs are in our home arcades in any capacity, like the majority of Stern market share, I would say are more towards the home buyers now than operators. So that's a huge part of their marketing is for home buyers. Is that
that's why the Pro has so little features. It's because they reach out to the operators and they're like, "What do you want us to take out? what will make it easier for you?"
Yes, that makes absolute sense. But also
going back to Peter Griffin Electric Drums, because he commented on my video yesterday. If you live in a place, not Newfoundland, because Newfoundland sucks, but if you live in a place like a normal place that has like a bowling alley or some place with pinball machines, 50 cents to $1. That's all it costs to go play. So anybody saying you guys are crazy, $10,000, 50 cents to $1 to go play a pinball machine.
Yes. And in fact, too, I would say there's more places that have pinball than arcades that you can go play, right? We're all arcade fans. You can go to
Yeah.
Pinball Map and find a pinball in a brewery somewhere, any city you go to, and still have that feeling. Versus a Dave & Buster's retro arcade, those are going to be much, much farther and few in between. But
yeah, there here in Des Moines, which I think is historically has been a good sample city for a lot of like new technology that comes out. We actually get a lot of stuff early because it's like a good average city to kind of test things in. And in Des Moines, we have every arcade has pinballs, but there's some arcades that only have pinballs, but there's no arcades that only have arcade games. So it's like if you pick any arcade in our area, it's going to have pinball machines. And again, there's a few that only have pinball machines and then some redemptions.
I would like to move. Can I come to live with one of you guys? Because there ain't no pinball here.
We've had this conversation. You need to move out of Newfoundland. Your heart is in the United States. We know that. It's been there.
It is. That's true.
Like
That's a true statement.
40 years.
Hey, have you looked
you love your wife, right? And she wants to stay. So
my wife works for family business, and all our family's still alive and here. So I'm never going anywhere.
Yeah. Have you looked at Pinball Map to see if there's anything in Newfoundland?
Yes, me and you have had this conversation. I know the operators. I know everything that's here.
Is that not right? That's New Zealand. Where's this?
Grossmoor Norris Point. Yeah, that's true. Look, they've got a Harlem Globetrotters from 1978. All right. That's exciting. No, you got to go down to. I'm on the east end. East. Keep going. There we go. Nope. Keep going down. You're way out there. Down, and to the left. I'm on the the left.
Your
the
other
right.
left.
Your other left. Keep going. Keep going.
Way.
That little part down here. Nope. Keep going.
Ah, there it is.
Geography lesson.
Yeah. See, I live there in Mount Pearl, so you'll see that. See that little cluster.
Yeah. Look at you. You got pinball.
Go look at the machines before you say that.
Yeah, you got an Avengers LE.
It sucks. Avengers sucks.
What are you talking about?
This new place opened up. Oh, look, he says he has a Dungeons and Dragons Valley.
Is that the guy who's buying it from you?
No, that's not the guy that's buying it from me. But I had someone reach out to me and he's like, "Hey, so you sold your Dungeons and Dragons to Kanto Gaming?" Yeah. I can't believe there's only 2,000 Dungeons and Dragons in the world, and there's 2 in Newfoundland currently.
Yeah, seriously, look at that. You got an AC/DC Pro. That's a great game.
That's at Plaza Bowl.
Fish Tales, Tales from the Crypt. Yeah, Incredible Hulk, Joker. All right. A Gorger and a Monte Carlo and a Road Kings. All right. Well,
So when you come into the States again, Mike.
Well, I am excited about this place, Kanto Gaming. They're a tabletop gaming place. So this is new. They've got 4 machines right now. I know that Kanto Avengers LE, I don't know if they bought that, but my friend Chris Kelly, who runs most of these machines are his. Chris Kelly's. He's an operator here locally, and he's always moving his machines around.
But this
the Bram Stoker's Dracula is
an older one then, right? 2012?
Yeah, it sucks. It's a bad game.
Avengers. It's not Infinity Gauntlet.
No. It's based on the movie, and it's terrible. Bram Stoker's Dracula is a really good game. Dungeons and Dragons is a good game.
I played that one. That one's fun for sure.
This is what Mike needs to do. He needs to learn how to reach out to U.S. distributors or Stern themselves. He figures out a cheaper way to get the pro machines to him, and he becomes an operator. That because he discovered a way to import them at a cheaper price, he can then rent them out for like $2,000 a month or whatever to the local businesses, get his money back, and now he can buy a ton of pros. He gets to put them in his house for like a month or 2, play the crap out of them, and then start putting them in places. That's I know a guy locally that does that.
These distributors. These distributors need to do rent to own and some kind of payment plan. If they did that, they'd sell a lot more machines, specifically to me.
Rent to own. That's a thing. Where are you playing your tournaments at, Justin? This is Des Moines.
See that one that says 13 at the top?
This one right here?
Yeah, that's the primary. That's the primary one. You can see what machines are there.
Yeah.
So Dialed In is the one that's really hard. That is always on the tournament.
Mhm.
That I need to learn a little bit more. Stranger Things is a hard
Mhm.
one for me. Last tournament was really fun where we have turtles,
Mhm.
and I'm not very good at turtles, but the number one player that won the last tournament, she beat me on turtles. But then because I was in the final four, so in the
Mhm.
final four, you get to like she picks a game, then I pick a game, then she picks a game,
Yeah.
and I picked Foo Fighters and I demolished her, so that was fun. But then she demolished me on Dialed In, so it was over, and she got first place and I got fourth. Um, but the games in there, we don't play Toy Story, we don't play Willy Wonka,
Yeah.
we
A
do
lot of
play
the Jersey
Rush.
Jacks sometimes aren't, included because of, like or, like, ones that have issues, like Spooky Pinball is usually, like, off the tables for
Yeah,
tournaments and things because they almost have ball traps and things.
yeah, Godfather is not on the list.
Mhm.
We've done Avengers, we've done Foo Fighters, Godzilla. Bond is never on the list, which I keep on being like, "Why don't we do Bond?" They're like, there's I don't know why. Maybe because
Would you
probably because
join a
the
pinball league,
organizer's
Mike
not
B, if
good
you
at it.
could?
Pardon?
Would you join a pinball league if you could, if there was
Oh,
one by you?
100%. I tried to get the local owners here together. I started a Facebook page
Mhm.
trying to get all the local owners to get
Mhm.
together, maybe to set up something where we go to
Mhm.
each other's houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody is so like secretive, like nobody
Mhm.
wants to connect. And I think it's very competitive because I
Mhm.
think a lot of the pinball owners here are also the kind of guys looking to snipe deals and then
Mhm.
sell off machines to fund future collections. So,
Yeah.
like, while everybody's like nice and they talk to each other, most people are just like, no, don't talk to me because I want to get deals and I want to make money. So
Hmm.
they don't like, you know,
Not as
they're not all
collaborative.
like, hey, let's all get together and do stuff. And like everything is very competitive for some reason.
Tell them they could be on YouTube and you can just, be a
It's
spokesperson.
almost like, being on a channel with 30,000 views doesn't really mean anything in the world. So,
Yeah, I
because
feel
it
you there.
doesn't.
Oh, Matt Asher has a good question. Are we still doing TPF? Is this the
I
thing?
want
Or
to. Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Is this really gonna happen in March? This is
I've
like
been telling you for like months. It will only happen, B, if you create a spreadsheet.
well, normally what prompts me to do that is when Mike actually buys
I
his
know.
plane ticket.
That's
Like
true. That's
when
true.
Mike that's always the first domino to fall. And then everybody else is like, all right,
Well,
we'll book stuff. So
I,
it
I
really
got
depends on you.
I got a little bit of a complication now. My wife, her
Mhm.
work is picking up. She's getting a lot busier because she's off
Mhm.
maternity leave. So she's got a lot more court. It's
Mhm.
like one of the reasons I can't go to CES. She has court towards the back of the month on the 20th. So she needs like 2 weeks of
Mhm.
me being like the sole parent with the kids so she can get ready for it
Mhm.
on top of the time that she's going to be in court. So it's not only the plane ticket now, it's also I have to make sure my wife's schedule is fine because I'm a
Mhm.
house husband.
Let me ask you, Mike. Is Newfoundland? That's Canada, right?
Yep,
And what's
technically.
the abbreviation for Newfoundland? Like Ontario's ON.
NFL?
It used to be well, everybody thinks it's NFLD. It used to be NF, now it's NL. So Newfoundland and Labrador. So NL.
All right. I'm checking because see, IFPN, right? I'm sorry, the ifpinball.com as the ranking by country. That's, when you
Hey,
do
Mike,
is there anyone registered in Newfoundland?
I have no idea. Like I know my buddy Chris Kelly is probably going to go to Texas Pinball Fest. He's the big operator here, Retro Amusements. So he went last year, and I think he went down to Chicago. So yeah. So there's a couple people that go and travel and go to these events, and like he knows Todd Tuckett, he's friends with him and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't know of anybody else doing anything with pinball outside of Newfoundland here.
Are
Yeah,
you ranked, Justin, on there since you've been doing tournaments? Are you like
yeah,
the
I'm in there,
30,000th
but
player?
so this is what I've learned.
Yeah.
So I'm on there. In Iowa, I'm like placed 133, but the people that are number one have a lot. I've only done 3 tournaments. And
Mhm.
so the people that are number one in Iowa last year did like 20 tournaments. So Cody is the number one player, and he's the organizer for the pinball in Ankeny. And I'm pretty good friends with him. We're friends on Facebook. We chat like basically the entire time I'm in the pinball. I'm hanging out with Cody because he's He's pretty kind, pretty nice. He's probably my age. He's very good. And when I ask him questions like, okay, so what's the secrets to dialed in? He's like, okay, you got to get the skill shot. Here's how you get the skill shot. It's not that hard. And you want to get up into this corner here and unlock this. And then you get this target and boom, you got the multipliers. And then you multi-ball and next thing you know, you're at $1 billion. It's really fun because he's like, every game he can rattle off the secret in like 10 seconds. And if you ask him right before you play a game, he'll tell you.
Can I give you some advice? I'm a little bit of an expert at dialed in as well. So the best way to play dialed in is you go to the machine and then you turn and go to a different, better machine and play that.
I don't know. Like I'm telling you, all the tournament players love dialed in.
A lot of people like dialed in.
I don't. It's the phone one, right? And like
Yeah.
I always think that it's like messed up. I'm like, why is that thing not on? And
It's Jersey Jack's original theme.
As I've been playing it more, and I've started to unlock a little bit of how to get the higher scores. I think I got like 250,000 or something, which is okay. And a lot of the people that are competing against that game, if no one's getting super high, 250 is pretty respectable. But once Cody comes in, all of a sudden he's at like 1 million, which again, it's Jersey Jack, so the numbers are completely different than like what Stern is. Then everyone's got like all of a sudden got millions of scores, you know.
Mike of All Trades says pinball. Really, that's what we were talking about. It's literally on the thumbnail. This is not a surprise. It's not a bait and switch.
The first
That's it. That's what we're talking about. I mean, well, there is a somewhat of a transition into this because Stern Pinball will be at CES. Justin and I will be there with 19K Fox. In the past, we have covered CES, other home arcade things. It used to be a good place for home arcade, but I looked up the exhibitor list, Justin. I started my spreadsheet of things that we would be doing, and I looked up and said, who would be there that the home arcade community would be interested in? And who do you think is on the list still attending CES?
John D.
Yeah, he's going? You've talked to him.
I don't know.
All right. So, Mike, I kind of told you the list. Were you surprised by any of the folks that I told you that were on the list?
Very much so. One specifically. I believe my response was, why the F are they going?
So the first team...
arcade?
Yeah, right.
Well, it's kind of close to that.
Very close. The first group that's going is My Arcade, and so they are still there. They've had a pretty decent pinball presence there. The last time we went,
My Arcade pinball presence.
Sorry, My Arcade, the group, right? So they had a decent booth. Like they had a lot of different like mini versions of their various console sizes there that you can purchase on site in addition to kind of showcasing things. They talked about their little Atari thingy. So they had a big, strong presence there. So expect to see stuff from My Arcade. And then you showed this little guy. What is this? This really dark image.
It looks like they're making some kind of countercade.
And how could you tell this?
Counter multicade because of the sizing.
That it'll have a screen somewhere too in back there? Or?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And look like a countercade? Yeah.
That's my guess. Yeah.
Glow in the dark. What's that little round button, do you think? Is that a...
What? That's where you put your testicles. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, we've got hardly anything to look at.
It's a really tiny... so you got the rotary, right?
It's a trackball? It's a little trackball?
Tiny trackball.
It's a mini trackball.
You can play Centipede.
Yeah, go. That better not be a trackball. That's the stupidest trackball I've ever seen. There's no way that's a trackball. That's so dumb. Right? Go back to their site, and I'll tell you why they're at CES and why it makes sense. Okay. So, not that product, but if you look through their other products, that one's actually pretty good. But if you look through their other products and actually bring up the little arcades and stuff, the reason why they're going is they sell garbage, hot garbage that's pretty cheap. So retailers say, oh, you know, Space Invaders, Centipede, I can sell this at the store. It's only $50. Thank you for your garbage. We're going to put it in our stores. And that's really what CES is about. It's about advertising your technological products to potential retailers.
Yeah. They have micro players, they have pocket players. I mean, yeah, they have so many different sizes of things too. And
it's all garbage.
All garbage. You have one? You played with one?
No, the only thing I bought was the what is it? The Game Station Pro, the Atari Game Station Pro. I don't have any interest in this. Bring it up. Look at it. Why would I buy that?
Because it's only $30.
Exactly.
you
It's
can have
crap.
the Data East Hits Nano Player. I mean, come on, like Data East Hits, you
No,
can play Burger Time on a
I
horizontal screen.
Is that the arcade ROM or is that the Nintendo ROM?
they have started using the arcade ROMs on their
Okay.
newer My Arcade products, but everything originally was the console ports.
Okay. Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. All right, so yes,
Can you
there.
play the bad dudes online with P-Dub?
You cannot. Yeah. Oh, you get to put batteries in it. What a quality product.
Soul quality. Look at the joysticks. People complain about joysticks and buttons, right? There it is. So this is the company that was also on the list. Toy Shock is
This
on
is
the
the
list
one that I'm
still.
shocked by.
Last year when we went, didn't they have like a booth with like the mini pinballs with no legs or something? Didn't they have
Yeah.
something?
Yeah, they had that was actually kind of cool. It wasn't too bad, right? It was like a little they had like a countertop
Yeah.
that had these little miniature pinball machines.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, they seemed overpriced. I was like, they were.
Oh yeah.
I want to say they were more expensive than I was willing to pay for what you were going to get.
Yeah. And the only reason why I still have them on this Google search, because when I clicked on their actual website, it actually took me to this like, do not go. This page is not here. It's not valid anymore. Go back, not secure.
So
Um,
I can understand why they're going, because they did produce a bunch of these. They produced a
Mhm.
bunch, sent them down to Canada.
Mhm.
Then they were held up and they couldn't make any more. So they've got equipment to sell. They've got a
Mhm.
product. They've got stock. They've got machines made. So they
Mhm.
need to try to get it out to a distributor. It's
Mhm.
just unfortunate because, I mean, I don't know, with the products on the market and their price point, I mean, who's going to buy that compared to, an arcade one up? Who's going to buy that compared to like the At Games Legends pinball?
Mhm.
It does have some benefits. I mean, it does look like an original haunted house. So, I mean, that's good. And it does have that nostalgia factor. So you might catch some people on that. But I mean, the Gottlieb older tables are really cool. But
Yeah.
most people with pinball nostalgia, it's really kind of from the 80s, 90s, not so much from this generation.
I had this machine for a little bit because I was super curious. Somebody sold it to me for like $200. The best thing about this is their user interface was actually better than any of the other
Yeah.
UIs I've seen. The Pinball Arcade interface for this was super clean. I liked it better than the arcade one up, and I was like, hey, this actually works. The games were just kind of like garbage or whatever. And it was the first VPN to market. But yeah, sadly, Toy Shock will be there. So I'm curious to see if it's real. They actually are on the list, but their website's not working. So it might be one of those like ghost things where they sign
Oh,
up.
no. They'll be there.
You think so? All right.
100%.
All right. So the other company that is somewhat related to home arcades that it could be interesting. We know Arcade One Up's not going to be there. Bandai Namco will have some arcade gaming presence with their full-size arcade machines that you could still purchase some form of Pac-Man in your house if you wanted to buy Pac-Man Royale. I think they're going to have some stuff there. So that's pretty cool. I'm
Do they
looking
still make pixel bashes? Is that something they still
maybe
sell?
possibly. Yeah. So we'll see what's there. And then Mad Catz Gaming is another group there that just kind of gaming products and peripherals. They do joysticks and fight sticks and other things too. So
Which one was
I
that?
might be
Mad Cats.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the only other kind of like name brand recognizable brand that I saw.
Is Mad
on their
Cat's
list.
name brand? Is
It
it?
is. Is it
It's
not?
hot
Like one of the
garbage.
third
Niche
party
community, yes.
It's hot garbage. Like, honestly, it was just like if you
Dude.
opened up your Christmas
Is it
presents and you're like,
recognizable?
I need a PlayStation 2 controller, and then your
My Mad
aunt's
Catz
like,
fight
I
stick?
got you a PlayStation 2 controller. It's a Mad's Cats. You'd throw it right in
It's
the
a
garbage
generic-
because it's a piece of shit.
Apparently everything's a piece of shit to Mike today these days.
No, it's just My Arcade, those little My Arcades and stuff like that. Quality has got better.
How
from what I
much is
understand, but
this
they're
is just
crappy.
because Rexer pushes it so much and you just hate that he
No.
Like what my question is what percentage of it is? I didn't ask you to elaborate.
0.0%. This is my unfiltered, unbridled opinion. I have played with these My Arcade things. They're garbage.
Mhm.
The Game Station Pro, better. That's a move in the right direction. I haven't tried a lot of the new My Arcade stuff. They have started using arcade ROMs. They have improved the controls a bit, but I mean, they're selling a nostalgia product that a lot of times doesn't really bring the nostalgia. So There's some issues with it. But then again, they don't care because it's cheap crap things selling Bed Bath & Beyond, Walmart.
Right.
People are going to walk by and say, oh, Space Invaders. Oh, it's only $40.
Hold on. I want to go back to Stern for a second because there's a question in the chat from Pinballers. He says, they switch them to stand-up targets, will have the same effect, but just won't drop when you hit it. So
the code will be the same, but yeah.
Pro?
Yeah, he's talking about the Pro.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to that just for a second, I was thinking of the Deadpool. I play Deadpool a lot, but I play only the Pro version because almost every... I don't think we have locally... I think one place, Monsterama, has a premium. Everything else is Pro. Everything else is Pro. Every arcade is Pro in Iowa, in the Des Moines area. And so going back to Stern and Pinball, like Deadpool has great, 3 drop targets right towards the center, and that's where you can you can get your ball captured in there. You can kind of ball lock in there, right? That I don't know what it's called, but that's what I aim for when I'm playing it. And what I'm talking about is like, and you can correct me, pinballers, if I'm wrong, but like if Jaws Pro removed the drop targets, and earlier we were talking about where someone said, well, the Pro is missing 8 drop targets, and that's comparing the Deadpool Pro to a premium. But isn't it the case that on Jaws Pro, that means there's 0 drop targets? Whereas on Deadpool Pro, there's still some drop targets, right? It's like the 3 that are right there in the front. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't see another place that has drop targets. I like this little like cute little flipper on the right. So there's some targets that actually hit on this side.
Did you see? Did you see that when that flipper is up, it can
It'll
capture
lock
the
it.
ball?
Yeah, you can capture it through here too.
Yeah,
so
that-
yeah, you can kind of go across. So that's cool.
To be honest, I don't have any machine that does that, and it's kind of like, as simple as that is, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Like I kind of like that. Be like, okay, I got it.
The only one that has that I know of is like Red and Ted's Roadshow. Have you ever played that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a really
I
fun table.
played the virtual version. I've never played the real table, I don't think.
And I didn't validate this, but I got a comment from someone that said, on the right hand, if you go back to a picture earlier, where it's got a ball save on the right. Have you guys seen that?
Here.
So right there.
Oh yeah, this little thing right here can nudge out.
Right. So if the ball falls in there, it can hit that rubber, and then you can nudge it, and it'll go through a little gate. Someone mentioned that Indiana Jones has that. I didn't catch that. That's pretty cool.
Indiana Jones has that, and Keith Elwin or George Gomez or somebody was talking that was a feature too. Like, use your little nudge thingy, and it can kind of save you. So
I did want to talk about the chum line target. So this is one a lot of people are talking about. It's pretty exciting. They've got LEDs there. As you hit the chum bucket, there's more red in the water. So I think that's pretty cool. But what does that chum line remind you of? Like, think about another version of a Jaws pinball table.
Oh, are you talking about Pinball FX version?
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah, because when you're playing Pinball FX, the skill shot when you first go in is based on a shark fin that goes right back and forth pretty much in the same part of the table. So the chum line, I'm looking at that and I'm like, did they get that idea from Pinball FX?
That's a good point. I'm going to pull up some footage of that too, because I actually did want to talk about, somebody was mentioning, was like, is this going to be better than Terry Red's version of Pinball on what is it? The Feature Pinball. He made a custom table for Jaws, which is really awesome too. And so this is our third pinball creation of the Jaws franchise, right? Because there's Pinball FX, which is fully licensed. You have an unlicensed version. So I just wanted to take a look at those two. Like, have you played that version, Justin? The Jaws Pinball FX version?
I haven't played that one.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, you should, just to get into the mood. Maybe you should play some pinball.
I think I've watched videos on it, but I don't think I've played it.
He's got 7 real pinball machines. He'll never play virtual pinball again.
I mean, I've been playing a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the virtual version
iPhone,
of Jaws.
But like, I don't know.
This is the Pinball FX version, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get in Pinball FX, but everything I do that's from Zen or like Pinball Arcade that's on my phone just feels very like, okay, I like pinball, but I don't like playing the lottery. Does that make sense? But some of these like digital games that are on my phone, it just feels like this is gambling without. I don't know how it just feels like it doesn't feel like pinball.
Well, the physics aren't as real. Is that kind of the
It's not
real?
about that. It's like how you play. Hey, you want to play Attack from Mars on your phone? Okay, that's good for a little bit, but then it's all like, yeah, you can't play anymore because you've done for the day and you reach this like certain amount of points. And I'm like, just let me freaking play the game. Like, I don't want any of this like other crap on top of it. That's all like, I don't know. It just feels like the advertisement that I see for the Monopoly game, which I will never download, where it's just like this weird addictive game that's trying to get you to come back and play more. And it doesn't feel like a real game. It just feels like this. I don't even know what to call it. Like it's a dopamine hit. Like I don't want.
It's still a game.
Pinball is a dopamine hit game, don't make it so obvious. Like try to pretend like that's not what it is. But it's like some of the virtual games are like too much.
Oh yeah, they're more video gamey than they are pinball. I agree with that completely.
For sure. But I not watching the movie before, I was playing this and I was just like, meh. But now I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, they actually do include a lot of elements from the movie.
Yeah.
With Quinn on the edge and the orca boat. And so it is kind of cool to like, now that I know how great of a cinematic masterpiece this is, I can have a little bit more appreciation for some of the
outside
artwork.
of nostalgia. Nostalgia says it doesn't hold up. Anyways, there's a couple things I do want to point out here. Look at the placement of the orca. And then think about where the orca is on the stern table.
You're not wrong. It's just facing the wrong way, but
yeah. And then look at this spinning mech up here on the right side, and think about the spinning mech for the reel on
this
the
right
stern. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Think about where that is on the stern table.
So you're saying Keith Elwin stole Pinball FX's design to make this table?
No, I'm just saying there's some similarities there. It's
exactly
funny.
what you're saying. Look, there's a ramp on the left-hand side and there's a ramp on the left-hand side. That's it.
There's a difference. There's a difference between there being ramps and there being the orca right there.
It's the same.
They have a
blatant ripoff. Paul says it.
All right, so that's Pinball FX there. There's also I want to pull it up here too.
Oh, whoa, go back just 1 second. There's also a bash mechanism, the wharf right there, the same place that the boat bash mechanism is on the Stern version too.
Right, it is. What are you gonna do? Is there a shark that pops up anywhere? Oh, there's a fin in the back too.
The shark does pop up in the back there after you bash it enough. Yeah.
And the fins actually do pop up in this little, like these slots right here, right?
That's right. There's your chum line right there where you shoot the ball on your skill shot.
That's right, Josh. Thief Elwin.
Thief Elwin is stealing from Pinball FX.
Stealing.
Yeah.
He's not even paying homage. He's stealing.
Yeah. Do you think he had any influence though from Terry Red? Do you guys know who Terry Red is?
I know who Terry Red is. Terry Red is huge in the virtual pinball community.
Terry Red I don't know this man in the virtual pinball space, right? So
he made the unlicensed version.
He made he programmed this 100% by himself. Like using the future pinball physics. He's also known for having the longest videos to man that have tons of text and everything too. If you try to follow one of his tutorials, but if you really want to get into virtual pinball, I definitely encourage you to check out Terry Red. But I want to get to some of just the gameplay, just to look at another layout of a Jaws table and see if Keith Elwin stole anything from here. What do you think?
Hey, hold on, I just want to make an announcement. We just hit 100 people in the chat. Can everyone take just one moment? If you're enjoying this show, hit that like button.
Oh, now we just lost 3 people. Thank you. Thank you so much, Justin. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Talking about pinball and getting 100 people to talk about it is freaking awesome in my book. But here is Terry Red's version of future pinball. Physics are probably a little bit more realistic. Look, it has an opening. I kind of wanted the ball to go into a Jaws mouth. I was hoping on the boat one that it would open enough. It looks like it's almost big enough to go in there. Because then that would be like the end of the movie where you're trying to shoot something into his mouth and then blow it up, right?
Ooh, yeah, that would be amazing. Like if they did the shark and then the shark had the what was the canister? CO2?
It was like a pressure, it was a pressure tank or a CO2
pressure
or something.
Tank, CO2 tank. And then he's like, if you actually shot the ball at the pressure tank,
exactly.
Oh, what a cool thing to do. Yeah.
And then it would blow up and then you'd have guts all over the table. And then
I think that'd be a little hard to do.
Right?
You'd have to wax it after every play.
It was so the end of the movie was definitely anticlimactic for me though. Just because like after that big scene, I was like, I wanted some big resolution with everybody hearing and cheering them on, and then it's just like, spoiler alert, they just went back and nothing happened. And I was
Oh no,
like,
they didn't make it back. The boat sank and they all died.
oh, extra spoiler. That's Jaws 2. That's the follow up. But anyways, I think this is a fun that there's other ways to play Jaws for people that are saying like this is way too expensive. Also, maybe years and years down the line from now, maybe we will get some actual VPX recreations of some tables. There was a version of Godzilla out there. You could play Godzilla pinball on VPX. So maybe
it really doesn't feel the same.
What's that?
It really doesn't feel the
but
same.
It's close. It's actually based off of the Friday the 13th table.
Yeah,
I would tell you for me, I here's the thing. So virtual pinball on your phone. I know earlier I was just like crapping on it, but that's just me crapping on the app developer that is making some of the the Williams arcade that you can download. Like, can I literally, if anyone knows, maybe I just don't know how to do it. How do I download that app and say, just let me play it like a normal game? Stop popping up and saying, you've played enough for the day, or your goal is to do this or do that. Just let me play the game and let me play for as long as I want. And if I want to just keep on playing the game for like 3 hours, let me do it. But the benefit of a virtual pinball machine on your phone is, for me, I'll tell you, last year I did this thing where I found myself being on my phone when I was going to bed. I'm in the bed with my wife, and we'll have our private times, whatever. But then there's this moment of I'm about to go to sleep, and for a while there, I was on my phone. And I was like, you know what? I should stop doing that. I should stop being on my phone. And I took a break from being on my phone for a month, and I hated it. It was, I don't know, for me, it was like, I don't really like, I kind of got accustomed to this either reading at night or being on my phone and maybe watching a few videos and then going to sleep like that last. And I was like, I'm going to go back to that. And then like my life improved. I was like, screw it. Like, I think it was a little bit better. Being alone with my thoughts late at night and like contemplating the day was just like not a good way to fall asleep. So I went back to just being on my phone, reading something, being on forums, whatever. And then I get too tired and I go to sleep and I'm out. So my point is, everyone's different, but that was me. And I started doing a thing where I was playing virtual pinball games while in bed, while I was going to sleep. And it was pretty nice. That's convenient. It's pretty cool. Can't play like pinball machines either at an arcade or in my basement while I'm like laying in bed.
Do you ever want to just wake up and be like, I want to kick Michael B's score and like, put up a game? No, that's never happened.
So yeah, I'd love to do that. So, but my only complaint is, can I just play the game? And again, is there a setting inside that app to be like, just leave me alone? Let me play the game as long as I want. If I drain 3 balls, I just want to play again and then play again. Do I have to pay for that? Why is it that it says you've reached your limit for the day?
Oh, you got to see the comment there from Jason Little Alien. I'm holding out for the piranha table. Michael B. the Game Genie. Yeah, you're going to get, they took my penis multi-ball. So really quickly, I just want to summarize what Justin was trying to say there. He doesn't like virtual pinball because he's above that now. He's not like you poors that have to play virtual pinball because he has 7 tables. You poors.
I just want a virtual pinball
Translation.
to just be like, start game, and it's like, you're just playing a real game, but just on a computer.
Yeah. So you can do that. You just got to pay for it.
You got to pay for it. Okay, fine. Screw it. I'll pay for it.
Yeah, it's called the free-to-play model. I think that's what you're playing.
So that's what they're doing. They're like,
yeah,
no,
yeah. You gotta pay $1.99 for your table. Actually, yesterday, I was on Steam because up until, is today January 4th still? Yeah. Okay, up until today, Pinball FX had a ton of sales on their older tables. So I was like, I'm not going to upgrade all my Pinball FX 3 tables to Pinball FX. But if you go to the Steam store, like things are like 75 to 80% off. Some things are like 90% off to get your old tables. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll upgrade. This is the time. And they have this legacy option. If you bought a Universal or Williams pack and you already had the FX3 version, it's even 50% off the 75% off. So I got like $1.93 tables. I was like, all right, I'm going to throw some money at Zen.
There you go.
And so I'm making up for Justin. I just spent $75 on pinball tables I already owned, but I did buy a couple of the new ones like the Snoopies and the Star Trek just to kind of test them out. Are you looking now? Are you gonna buy stuff?
Yeah, I completely forgot about it. I bought a bunch of games yesterday. I bought RoboCop Rogue City, and I bought the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor because I had a gift card. But I completely forgot there's a couple Pinball FX tables I never upgraded to yet. Like I don't have the Godzilla tables. I got Godzilla tables on the Epic
Godzilla,
Games, but
got the real
I don't have
Godzilla
them on.
Stern, but Godzilla, versus Kong.
Yeah.
All right. So that was pretty cool to check out. So check out Steam, Pinball FX, support them.
Are the sales over?
I don't know. I thought it said till January 4th. So no, there's some of them are still there. Maybe not as much as they were before. All right. Do you still play any of your virtual pinball now that you have some real machines though, Mike?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like when new stuff came out, like when At Games released the update for the Gottlieb tables on the At Games Legends Pinball, I played the shit out of that. Like really, really happy with that upgrade. I still play a lot of visual pinball, like going back and playing. Is it called visual pinball? Going back and playing like just stuff I can't access right now. Stuff like Elvira Scared Stiff. And, I don't have the ability to go out and play a lot of this stuff like you guys do. I can't just go to a pinball. So really, there's still a lot of benefit to it. Do I prefer the real over the virtual experience? Of course. I mean, I have eyes. But
I feel an analogy coming up. So, what's the analogy between your Godzilla that you have and when you play virtual pinball? What would be a good analogy?
You just can't recreate the real experience. There's no other way to say it. I mean, that's the truth. It's different. Maybe if I had one of those really luxe virtual tables with like all the internals, all the
is there a nostalgia
haptics, all that shit
coming?
Yeah, so like playing visual pinball is like the great value version of pinball.
So yeah, none
hard.
None of your virtual pinball tables, like you never had solenoids installed with them, right? So you never had that extra field.
No. I've never played on one of those luxe, virtual pinball machines. So I can't really say what that experience is
like. I heard one's coming out soon, right? And you're getting one. It's called the At Games ALP 4K.
Are you getting one? Are you getting a 4KP?
I might be. We'll see what happens. I don't want to say for sure I'm getting one. I said before I was sure I was getting one, but things change over time. I know Canada's delayed. We were supposed to get them the same time as the US, but now we're delayed till like March, April. So
I was certain that everyone was going to get the ALP 4K by January. Even December they would ship, right? Wasn't that what they originally said?
Yes, if you ordered directly, but the retailer orders in Canada was different.
Okay.
Got it. Paul Mindeman says he tried virtual pinball once, but he didn't like it because he has no pinball nostalgia. I would say the same. I had zero pinball nostalgia when I got into this hobby. Like I couldn't afford pinball when I was growing up, had zero nostalgia. And my first entry into pinball was the Star Wars arcade 1-up pinball machine and was just like, hey, this is kind of fun. In fact, even before that, I was doing my Star Wars yoke mod and I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to play pinball with the yoke? Because it has 2 little triggers. And I was doing that for shits and giggles. And then I discovered I can take the family, have a drink, and play pinball, and it's kind of fun. And so I discovered a love for it. So maybe there's hope for those that don't have nostalgia. Like Mike says, 50 cents to $1. Try it.
Just go play.
I'm gonna amend that because on every Monday, nearly for 2022, 2023, while Mike had his live stream, I was at Up Down in Des Moines because my daughter has this 2.5-hour class that I have to drop her at, and it doesn't make sense to drive all the way home. It's about 30 minutes away. When just 5 minutes away, there's Up Down. So I'd go there. I'd play Tales from the Crypt. They have Attack from Mars. They have Jurassic Park. The old Sega Jurassic Park. I think 9 total pins is at that place. 25 cents.
Oh, that's good.
25 cents.
Nice.
And you can find other places that have free play. Like you pay to get in. Like you can pay $10 to get in and then play as long as you want. So yeah, Biggie D, my first as well. Sonic Spinball. I played the shit out of Sonic.
The Game Gear. Yeah, absolutely.
I played it on, was it PS1 or PS2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when
Mhm.
I was really big into the TurboGrafx 16 collecting, I
Mhm.
also had Alien Crush and Devil's Crush on the TurboGrafx 16. I played the hell out of those too. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I played a little bit of video pinball, but it wasn't until Arcade 1-Up released their pinball machines that I started really getting interested in pinball. It was the FOMO for that,
Mhm.
which got me into
To
pinball.
buy
Which
all
then,
3 of them just because you
yeah.
wanted to play the different
Well,
tables.
no. See, what happened was that was a lot of FOMO there, because what
Mhm.
happened was you guys had delays in the US and you weren't getting the machines, but they were accessible to me. I could go in and order them right away, and it was all
Mhm.
about timing. I had extra cash at the time, so I ordered my Attack from Mars, and then I stupidly went online and I just bought like all the Zen tables to play on my PC, and I started playing the Marvel ones, and I was like, these are really good too. So I ordered the Marvel table as well. Then when I got both those machines, I was like, oh, this is really cool. I had just upgraded from PlayStation 4 to 5 and Xbox One to Xbox Series X. So I sold both my PlayStation 4 and my Xbox One, and then I was like, I just got a bunch of money. I'm gonna buy the third pinball machine too. So
Might as
that's
well.
Okay. Hold on a second. Don't look at the chat, Mike. Look straight at your camera lens. Look at
okay.
the camera lens. You're looking at the camera lens.
Yeah.
Say the pinball machine that has the abbreviation AFM.
Attack from Mars.
There you go. All right.
Everybody's so fixated on my Newfoundland accent.
I love it. I love it. Those in the
James
chat,
does.
you have to understand, you're like, right? Every culture has different pronunciations, and we should not demand that Mike speaks like an American.
Oh
He's
man,
in Newfoundland.
that is
Let
such an
him
American.
speak
That
the
is such
way
an
he
American
speaks.
thing, though. Like if I was anywhere else, like if I was in England, if I was in France or anything like that, nobody would stop and say, "Actually, that's not how it's pronounced." Only the U.S. They're like, in America, we say it like
In
this.
America.
So I think it's fun. Like we got Cornercade saying MERS, and we got Paul saying a boot, and I think that's, I don't know. How do you feel? You're Canadian, and that's where those pronunciations come from. Is that playful? Okay. At what point is it kind of like,
Oh
dude,
no.
you're kind of
Like,
being a
see,
jerk?
there's no way to tell how people are being here on the
That's
internet
true.
and
It's
stuff
true.
like that. Now, I've been in situations in person where I've had really ignorant, like stereotypical, ignorant Americans like come up to me and actually get in my face about the way I pronounce things, and I'm just like laughing. I'm like,
Yeah.
"You're a joke, buddy." I was at WrestleMania in Atlanta. And probably the most awkward thing that happened was this guy stopped and goes, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm visiting. This is my first WrestleMania. I'm so excited. I'm from a place called Newfoundland, Canada." And then he goes, "Well, I'm from the USA." And I was like, "Good for fucking you."
Red Hard rocks.
Yeah.
Did you like the Canadian crew from WWF when they were like doing the whole Canada versus Canada versus USA?
I'm not like that. Like
Yeah.
like I'm not like, oh, I have to love Bret Hart because I'm
Mhm.
Canadian. I just like what I like. I don't care.
That was funny.
I do have
All
a
right,
question about the Stern Pinball Jaws machine.
do it.
So in the video, I think it was George Gomez that said that Jaws will have career mode.
Yes,
What is that?
that's exactly what Venom is.
Yes.
It's tracking progress
Yes.
for your thing. So this is actually when I get to my Venom review of the version that I have, I enjoy playing this because the game is so hard. It kicks my ass. And if I had to pay to actually like progress through the game, I would hate it. But as a home pin, when you're just playing it over and over again, I can concentrate on achieving something for my career and not have to worry about points. I've rarely played Venom for points. I've played it to progress to a target. So if this is the same, where you're trying to achieve something and it can build your character, you can play each time and try a different thing versus always, like when I play Godzilla, I'm always trying to play for high score, like 100%. But for the next gen games, now you can play and like this quarter, whatever I'm doing, I'm going to try to hit these targets and try to get that thing so I can help me for my next game. I'm going to get the machete. I'm going to complete these barrel targets and things like this pivot. And so that's going to be, it's actually a fun way to play. So it's going to really change the game. I think it's going to really change how people approach pinball when they play.
Look, same spinner, very similar spinner mechanic to Zen Studios. There's your bash thing replacing the wharf, and there's the orca up on the side. It's just turned around so it
It's
doesn't look the same.
exactly the same.
It's like copy my homework, just change it
Yeah.
a little bit so no one knows.
There's
Dude,
a
and
good
I saw
question
this
in the
after watching the movie, and I saw this. I was like, "What a spoiler alert, huh? Is he actually kicking his face? Is he gonna survive?"
Poor Quint.
Sorry.
He didn't deserve what happened to him.
There's a good comment from Mike Montero. It's
Mhm.
maybe we could do a table question.
Mhm.
Panel question.
A panel question is a potential buy for the home collection. Well, I mean, I think you already have your answer, Justin. Like, this is going to be one of your first purchases in 2024. No?
Well, I haven't committed to that. I want to play it. So here's the thing. My thoughts are seemingly, apparently,
Mhm.
the LEs are already purchased.
Mhm.
And again, LA is different. I traveled last year to LA, and B took me to some of his arcades out there, and some of those arcades have LEs. But kind of snooping on Pinball Map, and especially in the Iowa, Missouri, Minnesota area, and Ohio, or I'm sorry, Omaha is what I'm thinking, like Nebraska. There's no LEs over here. So from my vantage point, from my view, I think LEs are mostly for home collectors. And I think
Correct.
the LEs have sold out already. I think that I went to Stern.com, sternpinball.com. I went to retailers. It gives you a map. And I just started control clicking on like every single item, every single website. Just went through like 20 of them. There's many more than 20. And then I was like, many of them say we have a pro and we have a premium. There's no LEs listed. I got a comment on one of my videos. It's a very small sample, but the guy was looking for LEs. I made a post. Is there any LEs? Are the LEs sold out? That's an indicator. If the LEs have already sold out, that's an indicator this is very home collector.
DMod in the chat, he has a deposit down for premium already.
Look at you.
I meant to mention this too. Like you were talking about this earlier with the LEs, people buying them all the time. There's something I only found out about this past year once the rumors started bubbling due to the conversation we had with, Stern at Comic-Con. Was it Comic-Con? We found out that they were going to be re-releasing Stranger Things, which was already a rumor anyways.
Yeah.
You can actually contact your distributor a lot of times. They have a rumor list. So if there's something that's rumored that's going to be coming out, you can reach out to them and you're going to be
reserve, right?
Yeah, can I put my name down on the rumor list? That's what I did with Stranger Things. Unfortunately, I couldn't sell my Dungeons and Dragons in time, so I missed out on that buy. But now I've sold my Dungeons and Dragons. So anything is possible now.
Anything is possible.
So in the private chat, I'm going to throw an article that I think is a really good insert. There, I mean, okay, so today, Jaws, LE, the hype, the FOMO was there, but some of the reservations for even considering an LE, like it's an interesting Jaws LE because you're like, is it worth 13,000? Well, if you're thinking of a premium, that's 10 grand. So is it worth the extra 13 grand? So Nap Arcade's got this website out there, and one of the reasons why you wouldn't buy an LE is they're not really limited. They only make 1,000, but in a few years they're gonna re-release another 1,000 of them because they've done that recently.
And then the black and white edition, and then the 30th anniversary Jurassic Park.
But do you see what he's saying in this article?
Yeah.
He's like, they're done. Limited is now limited.
Yeah.
Is it really though? Is it?
I don't know. According to this article,
yeah,
he says they will no longer re-release limited. Like if they saw the error in their ways.
So get ready for the 70th anniversary of Godzilla coming this year.
Yeah, they just won't call it limited edition, right? It's the special edition.
Exactly. Nap Arcade, a great place to go for pinball news. Did an
Which
article
I've been
on
featured
Michael
in.
B.
Yeah,
that's what you got featured in. But
it should have been you guys too.
Did they ever give any credit to the people that actually got to talk to Brian Eddy? No.
So yeah, exactly. So B was the one hosting that event. I was the one who asked the great question, but Mike got all of
He gets the glory as the pinball channel.
I'm not 100% sure if you asked the question.
I asked the question.
You've got I've got the video here somewhere. I'm sure
I
we
was
could
the
just bring it
one
up.
who said, "Will we get another Stranger Things?" And he goes, "Maybe," which is what made it to that article.
I don't know. Justin, some weird stuff going on earlier. He told me he had a giant penis earlier too. I think he's hopped up on something. He's
Yeah, he
fantasized.
showed
No,
it.
it was
He
me
almost
that said that. Let's make it clear.
Hey, but hey, like, did you see this? That they're considering remastering their older generation DMD games. Didn't we start talking to Jody about this at Comic-Con too? To
Yeah,
see
Yeah.
but
exactly what
this
he was talking
article is a
about?
little different. I
Mhm.
wonder if they're saying I'd love to get your take on it. Let's read through it because I don't know what they mean. Are they gonna redo the DMDs with DMD? Because they've done that up to
No, they'll upgrade them to
2019
LCDs straight up to 16:9s and make them more
and make
modern.
them insider connected, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
Okay.
a couple games that we know might be happening, like, and it's weird too. So
Metallica.
I don't think they can do Vault games. Like, it'd be pretty shitty of them to go back and do like Spider-Man and Iron Man, but stuff that had one run like Ghostbusters, Metallica, like, yeah, good calls.
Mhm.
Yeah, those in the chat that don't know about this, if you go to Nap Arcade, you can create an account and you can subscribe. And I recommend doing that because every single time Nap Arcade creates an article, you'll just get an email. And so when you see the title of the email, Nap Arcade has a new post, you can click on it. If the title interests you, go read it. If not, you can dismiss it. But it's
And
great. Like,
you know what the best thing
highly
is?
recommend you subscribe to it.
These articles coming, you can read them in bed on your phone
That's right.
instead of lying there thinking about the things going on in your life and depressing yourself.
That's right. The depressing thoughts of being alone, lying silent in the bed. It's so much better to like, oh, let me read this quick article.
So next week we'll be at CES. It'll be fun. Mike, do you want to join us at all for any kind of on-site coverage? Would you be?
Oh yeah,
No,
I'll be scumming.
You'll
with
get
that,
all the
don't
credit
worry.
on Nap
He's
Arcade
gonna
again.
go live. We're gonna join his channel, and then
Oh no,
he's gonna get the
I,
coverage.
we don't got to do that. I'm very. I don't want it to be on my channel. I'm very excited just to tag along and virtually be there with you guys. I wish I could do it in person. Just like, and honestly, it's one of the times the flight actually made sense. I could get there for about $600-700. I was gung ho, and my wife, like, just, she needs me here with the kids. So
Family first, bro.
Time.
and you guys are gonna meet Stern and you get to play Jaws the first time. What a kick in the
I
nuts!
totally fanboyed out at Comic-Con because it was also one of those places where people weren't there for pinball, so we
Yeah.
got to walk up and talk to Jack Danger and Brian Eddy and
I'm almost 100% sure it's pronounced Donger.
Donga. Yeah,
Donger.
Donga.
See, you guys don't watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You don't know the reference. It sucks.
don't.
You got to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There was this one thing at Comic-Con. Do you remember when I wanted to play? It was like a Jurassic Park Premium or something like that. The whole thing was at Comic-Con. They had a special Stern section, and we were trying to get on their leaderboard. If you got what was it, like 100 million or something like that, you got on their top 10.
Top 10.
If you could say that's me I'm on the top 10 now, they'd give you a
Get
keychain.
like a little keychain.
So I started looking at all the games, and like every 5 seconds it would rotate through the game, and I was like, okay. So Jurassic Park, the scores are not that high. I can get that score on Jurassic Park Premium. So I go over to Jurassic Park Premium, and there's these kids that are like teenagers. You remember that, B? And they're playing, and I'm standing by them. Kind of that.
Wait to play.
I'm next.
I got next. You gotta put your quarter on the glass.
Type of thing, but it was free play. And I was like, hey, can I play next? And they're like, just freaking looked at me and turned around and pressed start again. And I was like, what the hell? And I literally said, what the hell? I'm next. And they ignored me. So then I just waited there another 10 minutes for both of them. They were playing 2-on-2. And then straight up, I was like, hey, can I get next? They glanced at me, gave me this dirtiest look, and I'm like, you guys suck. And I walked away. So that was a bad experience. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's kind of
these are dicks.
So pinball community is toxic, man. Those guys are assholes.
Everyone else that's like, in their 30s and 40s were all like, hey man, you want to play with us?
Yeah, so
they said. They were like, you want to do a 2-on-2? You want to do a 4-player game?
Yeah.
We can all play together.
The
That's what
funny
me and
thing
I did
about
several
a
times.
funny side experience at Comic-Con there too. There was like this girl, I think she like was one of the girls that were helping out at the booth. That was probably like trying to show off to this guy and was like, oh, let me show you all these things. And I was like, it was obviously like a couple that was playing. And I did the same thing. I was like, hey, can I join you guys? And she gave me a death stare. She's
See,
like,
you guys do it all wrong. Like what I do is I'll go up and I'll wait to play, and then I get really irritated. So then I start getting really fucking awkward until they leave. Then I can play.
you just get
No,
closer and
just-
closer. Like, oh, this is how
Yeah.
you nudge.
I-
This
I'm
is
just-
how you nudge.
I'm used to Iowa nice. Like literally at the pinball, like there's a group of people. You can walk up and be like, "Hey guys, can I join you?" And they're like, "Absolutely!" Like there is not a
Mo-
hesitation. They're like, "Dude, we would love to have a fourth person." And then
Mo-
like I get to know them and it's fun. But again, they're like millennials or like Gen X's, and then this new
They're
generation
thin
are
snobs.
like,
All right. Speaking
"You have
of
gray
fun
hair.
stuff,
You're not a part of us."
this is gonna be fun, right? I was gonna do a next level show installing this, but then Jaws stuff came out. But it's gonna be fun. You want to see it? Want to peek?
Oh
when,
yeah.
when you gonna do this?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just do it right after this. Afterwards,
Yeah, just do another show.
just do another show. Get it installed. Like open it live. I mean, like I've been wanting to open this up all.
How long have you
freaking
had
winter
it?
break. So might as well. For folks that don't know what this is,
You
Justin,
have
tell them what it is.
you have a box cutter that's like way more expensive than my 50-cent version.
this cool.
Yeah, link in the description. Come on, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna
look
turn.
at
You
that.
need to turn
Yeah.
into a box cutter channel.
This is like my favorite box cutter. It's so good. So good.
There's a nostalgia joke somewhere in here.
All right, so toppers. I'll talk about how crazy stupid accessories are for pinball. People are complaining about the $10,000 it costs for pinball machines. The accessories are ridiculous. This is a $1,000 topper from that they just came out with, and it's yeah. I think I've already invested close to $2,000 in parts and accessories for my.
How
console.
can you afford that, B?
I can't, but
Oh yeah.
I sell
You
my
rich
soul and other
motherfuckers.
things. I get a lot of tips from other places, if you know what I mean. People still ask me for things.
So this is one that
He's-
when I first looked at it, I thought it looked pretty basic. Now I had an opportunity to actually see one in person when I went to Meeple Mart. That crazy! If you ever get to Toronto, you got to go check out this place, Meeple Mart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy's a huge pinball collector. Every machine was a premium or LE. Every machine had the toppers. Like, honestly, this is his home collection he puts in his store. It's the exact opposite of your normal pinball arcade. These machines were completely tricked out.
I was thinking, there's so many. Garage Gamer says that B's got a third job. Knowing you personally, B, I think you do have a third job.
I used
Like
to.
that's the secret to affording pinball is like literally have 3 jobs.
Yeah. All right. So now that I'm looking at this in person, I think the only thing I'm disappointed in is that the figure is exactly the same as the Godzilla that's
Is it
inside.
the same
Yeah.
one?
It's the
Same figure,
exact
exact
same
same.
one. I'm looking at it now because
Economy of scale, Justin.
It's
I
not
took it
bigger.
out and I was like, it's the same. So I mean, this is
Yeah.
the cloud that's not a complete cloud. It's like it's kind of transparent on the backside. So there's
Layers
that.
are cool though.
And there's a little fun little. I would have liked to maybe see these like more 3D-ish. I might even like look to see how you can mod even the topper side of it. It's hefty.
You can
I mean, it just
you can
connects
you
to a
can
couple
you can
wires.
mod the Godzilla. People have done that. They've changed up the toy on the Godzilla, but once you
Really?
get it up and working, and you
Modding the
see-
topper. Come on.
So
No.
at least I already took off the Godzilla on mine because I have a moving Godzilla. That's a really cool mod, by the way. Have you seen my moving Godzilla mod?
Yeah.
It's by D Panel. It's super good. Like it just every time the building moves and the bridge moves and it just like turns its head, it's freaking awesome. I might have the second Godzilla just here, just like fighting each other for something like that. But it's the exact same toy. So otherwise, this is fun. All right. Well, this will be a fun project to do. Hope you guys had a good time talking about Jaws and pinball and CES. Are you excited next week, Justin? Are you coming in on Wednesday?
Yep, coming in on Wednesday.
Oh, are you going
Very
to
excited.
California first and then going to Vegas with B, or are you going right to Vegas?
Right to Vegas.
No, we're just meeting up. We're gonna go get some burgers.
you son of a bitch. This keeps getting worse for me. Oh, and I've been watching a ton of stuff about Vegas. I started watching this new channel called Beard Meets Food, and he's like this competitive eater. So he's going all these places in Vegas, like the Heart Attack Grill, and like doing big challenges. And I'm just like, it's killing me. I want to go so bad.
We went to like Smash Burger at 3 a.m. last time when we got in.
Man.
I'm assuming we're doing something like. When time do you get in on Wednesday?
I get in at 1:50. What time do you get in? Do you get in early before me?
Yeah, I think it's morning.
All right. So I have to hustle because I think we're going to be at the Stern booth. We have an appointment to hang out at the Stern booth, folks, and play some Jaws. It might be so popular. I think this is because
that's at
last
4
year,
p.m. I want to say.
Yeah, last year Bond had released in December. So even though that was like their game they were premiering there, it wasn't like the first time they were launching a game title there. So this is now like they did it at Comic-Con. They're doing it here. This will be the debut publicly for people to play it. So I'm curious how many pinball fans are actually going to CES just to play this. It'll be interesting to see if that's going to be super busy because we could walk up mostly to most pinball tables and play them, even the Bonds. But I wonder if we could only play it during our time slot. But we'll see. We'll be there a lot during the week.
Yeah, I don't know how you feel about that. We never really talked about it, but it was like Stern reached out and said, "We know you guys are going to CES, and we know you guys are fans of Stern, so you want to come to our booth." But they asked you and they asked me, and I was like, "Hey, I would love to do that. Do you know my buddy B is going to do that too? Can we just like do it together?" And they're like, "That sounds good." So I think we have a single appointment at 4:00. Maybe we get double the time. I don't know.
Maybe I might have to meet you there with my luggage because I might have to go straight from the airport. We'll see.
I was trying to do the math. I looked at your flight and then I added some buffer time and I was like, "Can we do 4 p.m.?" And it seems like
I know. I might try to work it out. Anyways, Mike, we'll be missing you next week. We'll take lots of photos. We'll eat lots of burgers. We're just going to do the burger streams again where we just go live at a burger joint and eat. And
let's rub it in a little bit more, Mike. So Stern reached out and said we have exclusive time with a single machine for the purpose to press record and then make videos at CES, not in a public location, but in a isolated location where it's just B and I and the Stern machines.
And there'll be burgers, strippers,
all that.
Well, have fun, guys. What?
I said foot massages. That happened.
Have fun, guys. I'll be here going to a GameStop to review the iconic arcade.
So what's going to happen is B is going to publish about 90 videos about it, and I won't do any.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun to check it out. Well, thank you so much for joining us today as guests. Appreciate everybody. Thanks for joining the next level, everybody. You guys made it. See you later. Bye. Everybody like have Mike dancing. That